This is Shutters Inc. with Bruce Williams and Glyn Lavender.
Hi and welcome to episode 519 of Shutters Inc. This is Bruce Williams from shuttersincpodcast.com, and joining me...
And I'm not.
Once again, the man who is not Bruce Williams, it is Mr. Glyn Lavender from creativephotoworkshops.com.au. How are you, sir?
Do you know, I'm really busy at the moment. Do you know why?
No.
Because I'm getting all these messages on Skype from you saying, oh, hello? Can you hear me? Are you ready? Hello? It's just coming through now, 5 minutes after we finally connected.
Right. Excellent.
I love technology. It's been one of those technology days.
Oh, yeah.
I sent my daughter off to school, my youngest one, with her watch fully charged. And her watch is her phone.
Right.
And like at 12 o'clock, it says your phone's down to 15%. So what the hell? So that failed like half an hour after that. And then get this panicked email from the eldest daughter saying, something's wrong with my computer at school. It's the sides of the screens are all really bright and the inside's dull. And the bright bits are showing Gmail in reverse.
What? Wow.
I know. I haven't heard that one before. It's a new one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good because you can't get bored of the same problems. It's nice to be thrown a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like listening to my jokes. Occasionally it's nice to hear a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that you'd know.
No. That's
but,
right.
I'm told is what people say.
Right. Excellent.
So I assume you didn't get the letters from the lawyers?
No. Letters from which lawyers?
Or our listeners' lawyers. Cease and desist?
No.
Don't record anymore. Please stop.
No, did not get those.
That's
letters.
what I was expecting. I was every knock on the door for the last 2 weeks. It's like, hang on, this is it.
This will be the one.
This is the one, dude. Stop recording. Come on. We've finally realised what the weeks have been like without you. And then you came back, and it's like, no, we'll stop that.
Yeah.
Good thing we don't put out our address, otherwise, probably those lawyers might have found their way to us.
That's right. That's right.
We live in Venezuela, by the way, just for anyone listening. 1 Rue de Ville, city in Venezuela.
Yes, that's us.
Is it postcode?
So how's your last couple of weeks been?
I've got a car.
Oh, nice.
Finally, after 10 months of trying to
And what did you end up with?
I ended up with a Subaru Forester.
Nice.
But, I mean, funny enough, here's the weird thing, right? Mm. The very first car I went out to look at 10, 11 months ago, the car that started the process of, I'd like a new car, was the Subaru Forester.
Right.
But about a month after I did that, I had to go up. This is obviously between lockdowns. My youngest daughter had been out on a cub camp for a weekend, or 4 or 5 days, something like that. And I had to go up and help pack it down at the end with other parents.
Right.
And so we carpooled. And we carpooled in the forest, and I sat in the back, and my bum was numb after half an hour. The seat was so rock hard.
Right.
And I had to go from cheek to cheek for the rest of the trip.
Right.
Swapping left, right, all the way there, all the way back.
Yeah.
So it kind of ruled out the car because, you got to sit in the back as well as the front.
Yeah.
Well, the kids do. It was so uncomfortable sitting there, so I went to all these options.
Yeah.
Finally decided I wanted a Subaru Outback.
Okay.
But cars are so damn hard to come by at the moment that after it's a 4 or 5 month wait to get a car if you're lucky. That's like one of the least time frames you have to wait to get a vehicle.
Right.
It's sort of that mad. And anything second hand, I said, that's relatively new is selling a couple of thousand above retail of a new one, simply because of lack of supply. You know, a friend of mine, her trade-in value of her car went up $9,000 in 6 weeks.
What?
Tell me about it. Yeah, so really hard to buy a car. Anyway, so I'm looking. Finally got to our lockdown. Finally ended after 276 days or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And got to go out and start doing some test drives. So I took a test drive of a Outback. Yep. Really liked it. You know? But none of the dealers in Melbourne are allowed to haggle on price.
Oh, really?
This is the price, take it or leave it, And Honda's just gone the same way, and Mercedes has gone the same way. Yep. And they just have no mind you, Honda, 50% drop in sales. they're expecting Mercedes to have the same problem when they get. In fact, Mercedes dealerships are suing Mercedes for being forced into this type of thing.
Yep.
For 684 million. But in Subaru's case, it's not an Australia-wide mandate. It's just the local Melbourne dealers are all owned by the same company, and it's their policy.
Right.
So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go for an Outback. I want this particular model. But then, there were things I didn't really like about it. Like the seats were a bit as well. Yeah, just the material, not the comfort.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, I'll go through a car broker. It might be the only way I'm going to save some money. Then I'm looking on the car sales, which is where we sell like second-hand cars in Australia and deal cars and all that sort of stuff. And there's this effectively brand new Subaru Forester owned by one owner, 5 months old. Only had it for 5 months. Fully optioned the damn thing with every accessory known to man.
Yeah.
Right. And selling for cheaper than new. Plus like $5,000 or $6,000 of accessories on top of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was in the colour I liked the most.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so I gave the dealer one ultimatum. I said, this is the price I want to pay for the car. They said, can't do it. I said, well, you've got my offer. See you later. Went out from that dealer. It was a Doncaster Subaru. Went from there out to see this guy's car, which he'd also bought from Doncaster.
Yeah.
And then stitched him up. They'd sold him everything. The paint protection, the leather protection, the undercar protection, the side steps, for God's sake, the headlight protectors, the dash cam built in, the little metal strips on the edge of the door frame where you step in, which you don't even step on. They'd stitched him for everything, you know, and selling it for cheaper than you. And then I haggled him down another $1,500.
Wow.
Which is unheard of in this day and age, and we bought it.
Nice.
Long story short. Well, long story long, actually, when you really think about it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And you're happy with it?
Picked it up last Friday night and love it. So I wanted not proper four-wheel drive, but a four-wheel drive capable vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah, for camping and fishing and stuff like that. So me and the youngest, we took her out 2 nights ago, a little bit off-roading. And it shows you all the angles the car's on at any time when you're in four-wheel drive mode.
Yep.
And we got to 26 degrees sideways.
Nice.
Whilst facing 14 degrees down. So that was kind of precarious. You know, you kind of having to lean to like about 2:30 on the clock.
Yeah.
To feel like you're still sitting straight. So we took it off some fairly extreme, not extreme, but yeah, for a normal driving car, pretty extreme stuff from dirt and rocks and so we're loving it. We're having a ball.
Excellent.
And I felt like I got a deal, which is important. You want to feel like you haven't been screwed over.
Yep.
And any other time other than COVID, you could have negotiated or got deals and had more options and more vehicles available and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
So, and by chance, it was my favourite colour of that, which I thought was kind of fate.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
after I said yes to it, the guy had no calls on it whatsoever.
Wow.
And it was like, first to see will buy.
Yep.
You know, got there. I was the first to see. I bought. He had 15 calls afterwards. It'd been up there for like 10 days.
Oh.
Then he had 15 calls afterwards, including 2 that just sent the message, "I'll buy it sight unseen.
Wow.
Hold it for me."
Wow.
You know? And so he lost out in $1,500.
Yeah.
Which is good for me.
Yeah.
And so it's been good. So I've been out gallivanting around and
excellent
buying accessories and some future planning.
Yeah.
All good. So that's one thing that's happened the last 2 weeks, and that's about it.
Done any photography?
No photography. Haven't thought photography. Haven't talked photography. Haven't even really looked at any photography.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, nada. You know.
Yeah.
It might be over. I might be done. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm sure. Oh, shit, well, that's not completely true. I have seen some photography the last week or so.
Yeah.
Because the Aurora Australis has been going off tap.
Oh, really?
Here. Absolutely off. It was seen as far north as Broken Hill.
Wow.
So in the desert of Australia, inland desert, you could see a pretty substantial Aurora Australis.
Wow.
And it was there's a really going off tap at least a few nights ago.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, all of a sudden my Facebook feed, everyone's out there shooting it. I mean, I could have gone out in my backyard and it was that big, it would have gone right over my head. Yeah.
Wow.
But I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. So that's been going huge, which is amazing. And my mate Cam Blake down in Tassie, yeah, he got some great shots, and then got into a big online argument with someone because they said he faked it all, and it doesn't look like that. And he goes, "Well, all I've done is add some contrasting." No, you Photoshop, and so got some great big bloody fight with people as online experts want to do.
Yeah. Yep.
But so he got some nice shots, but he's got a much better one from a few years ago when it was really going off tap on the tessellated pavement area down outside of Hobart, and he got this incredible reflections of the aurora in the puddles in the tessellated pavement,
nice.
And then all up in the sky. It's quite epic.
Yeah, nice.
So that's so all those who've been lucky enough to get out and shoot, And they all use these apps, these Aurora predictor apps, and they kind of tell you when solar storms are coming and all that kind of stuff, and what it's like at any given time, and over the next, what's predicted for the next couple of hours. You can kind of plan a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Cool.
But other than that, nothing. And yourself? Have you done anything? No.
Oh, mate. 2021 is the year that just keeps on giving.
What happened?
So I told you about the will going missing.
Yes.
Right, so I got hold of Australia Post on Monday of this week and spoke to a girl there who said... basically, we have these thresholds for, X number of days after something should have been delivered before we'll investigate it. So it's like missing persons,
don't report for the first 48 hours.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And so I gave her the timeline of everything that's happened, and I said, at what point will you declare this lost and irretrievable? And she said, that'll be Thursday of this week.
Oh, so that'd be last Tuesday.
So,
God.
So
that's
she said to me, so she said to me, I will escalate this to this special team that they have at Australia Post who are authorised to open mail that has not been successfully delivered, where they will open the mail in an attempt to find more information either on who was the sender or who was the intended recipient. She said they normally get to everything within 48 hours. She said, but if they have no luck, and if they can't find it, and if we can't find it before Thursday, then Thursday we will write it off as having been lost.
And here's your 45 cents back for the stamp.
And we will give you a letter that says, it's been lost, and you should be able to go to talk to the banks. So that was one thing. But
that won't tell you what's in the will, though.
Well, thankfully I have a scanned copy of the will, which my auntie emailed to me.
Thank God.
So that's the last remaining copy of the will. However, my auntie did say to me a week and a half back, she said, look, there's a bunch of mail here for your dad. Do you want me to just put it all in an envelope and send it across, or do you want me to readdress every one of them and send them separately? And I said, no, just chuck them all in an envelope and post them over.
Less chance, theoretically, of one thing going missing. So
she's bundled them all up into an envelope and posted them across to me. They arrive in my mailbox absolutely soaking wet. So I had to carefully, peel all these sodden envelopes open and unfold these pieces of paper delicately so that they don't tear. And amongst all of it, I find a credit card statement.
Oh, what?
Dad's left me a $14,500 credit card bill.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Dad. Nice. Jesus.
Doesn't it just come out of the estate? Not
if there's enough money in the estate. I don't even know. Because I haven't been able to produce the original of the will, the banks won't talk to me. They won't tell me anything about what accounts he's got or what balances are in them. So I know of 2 Commonwealth accounts and 1 Westpac credit card, and that's as much as I know. But I have no idea what balance is in the. Mate, seriously, it's just been the year from hell.
And there's the problem. See, we all curse 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, we all say, well, that's as bad as it's going to get.
Yeah.
And you know what nature said? Hold my beer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm just getting started.
Just getting started, yeah. So,
dude,
mate, it just doesn't
all
stop.
I can say to our listeners is, if you're feeling a bit down and having a bit of a tough time, just think of the name Bruce Williams and cheer you right up. There's got to be some good come out from Bruce.
I don't claim to be the only one affected by the whole, COVID situation, but yeah, it's just one thing after another,
Jesus.
So you got to laugh. What else can you do? Don't laugh, you'll cry.
Grimace, maybe,
Yeah, so anyway.
Since 2005, Shutters Inc. has been a labour of love. But beyond the time required to produce it, there is also a financial commitment. If you find value in the podcast and would like to help keep the servers running, hit up the Patreon link, which is in the show notes. Even a couple of dollars a month will help. Much appreciated. Now, back to the podcast.
So that's been my last couple of weeks. Like you, haven't touched the camera in that time.
No, I touched the camera. I moved it from there to there. It was in the way.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. A bit more exciting news.
Yeah.
I bought a tortilla press.
Nice.
Yeah, so
is
trying that out
that
tonight.
different to a sandwich press?
Yeah, well, because so to make your homemade fresh tortillas.
Yeah.
So basically you make the dough. But rather than getting a rolling pin and trying to roll them out, which is a nightmare to make things round,
right,
you put the ball of dough in the middle of the tortilla press and just press it together, and it flattens out into a circle.
Oh, sweet.
And then you just put it straight in the fry pan and cook them.
Nice.
So you get your fresh tortillas.
Beautiful.
So this afternoon I made up a big batch of pico de gallo.
Yeah.
And then going to cook up some fixins tonight, and then cook up some fresh tortillas.
Beautiful.
So,
mate, that sounds great.
Yeah, I made them in the past, but they're a pain because there's all the work of rolling out 20 or 15 or 20 bloody tortillas. But if this press makes it easier.
Yeah, nice.
So,
awesome.
So that was good.
Yeah.
I've been Christmas shopping too. I've been,
Oh, yeah?
It's like, if you haven't Christmas shop yet, dude, get onto it now because it's going to be a nightmare.
I know.
Supply issues like you will not believe, I'm told.
Yeah.
There's going to be massive stock shortages of all sorts of stuff.
Well, just also knowing what the postage is like at the moment.
Oh, of course, yeah, exactly.
Someone said to me the other day that they'd ordered a pair of shoes online from the suburb next to where they live, and it's been 6 weeks and they still haven't arrived.
Yeah. Well, I've got stuff that's been sent. It's been sitting in our local distribution centre, which I saw in the news a couple of probably 6-8 weeks ago, showing it's just like packed to the rafters for as far as the eye could see with parcels.
Yeah, right.
It's been sitting there since the 29th of October, and it's the 10th of November now. So we're looking 12 or 13 days, and it hasn't moved on the track my order things.
I've got to say, I'm getting heartily sick of businesses and government departments who are still using COVID as an excuse for offering crap service. Well, how is this still an issue? It's been close on 2 years now.
The sheer volume of online orders is surpassed anything ever known to man.
Hire more people.
Yeah, but that's not a process that's going to happen this week.
Okay, it's been 19 months. I'm sure we could have found some more people.
I don't know when mail became a major issue. I don't think that was an immediate problem. Yeah. That seems to really only sort of come in the last, I would say, 8 or 10 weeks. That mail seems to really, When we're down here, the mail had to do a 1 week, we're not delivering anything break just to try and catch up. Now, I've never heard that in the history of our mail service. So.
That tells me you don't have enough staff to process what's going on, so hire more staff.
But that's a process that takes time.
Oh, rubbish.
Yes, I mean, I'm prepared to be, as long as the Christmas stuff arrives in time, I'm prepared to be somewhat somewhat,
in the end.
Yes, yeah. But should the week for my daughter's costume not show up in time?
Oh, yeah.
Hell to pay, yeah. Christmas is resting, and the thing is, you feel more stuff's going to go missing, a la your one, which is somewhat of a concern,
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's the last bit of the excitement of my life, Tortilla Press.
So anyway, got a couple of things that we will cover quickly.
We're going to talk about photography.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Actually, the first bit's not even about photography. Carl Herming sent us an email and he said, "Great to hear you guys back on the airwaves, Bruce and Glenn. Hopefully things are on the up and up for all. Glenn's, I'm thinking about
I'm okay, but Bruce is not the best one.
Glenn's thinking about putting a Facebook post about himself passing away. Seinfeld's writer Larry David has a show called Curb Your Enthusiasm, and they did a sketch about one of Larry's friends who had a funeral for himself while he was still alive. He sat and watched the ceremony on the big screen in the bedroom. Pretty funny. Watch it on binge, Series 11, Episode 2.
So that's exactly the way it should be. Yeah. I mean, there's no point people... I mean, I've seen a few people online this week where they've had people die, and again, it's all the outpouring.
Yeah.
That person would have liked to have heard that before they popped.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I've got to say, though, not a single listener sent me a glowing testimonial.
Not one.
Not one, dude.
Oh.
Gee, we used to love listening to his podcast. Maybe it's a problem.
Yeah.
They didn't love listening to the podcast. We used to listen to his podcast, Look, I was court-ordered to listen to their podcast.
Yeah. It was my community service.
Exactly. There you go.
Peter Sample wrote
streets
and said, "Hi, Bruce and Glenn. Sorry to hear that you're both needing to take some time off to get back to your healthy state. Hope it's sooner rather than later. I'm still catching up with the podcasts and recently listened to episode 401. Oh, my God.
Diesel.
That's a glutton for punishment. And wanted to congratulate you guys on reaching this milestone. Your podcasts have always given me a laugh as well as provide some photographic knowledge. I've also been unwell, being diagnosed with leukemia July 2020, so over the past 15 months I have been on various chemo treatments." Sorry to hear that, Peter. "The current treatment is having a positive effect and my cancer is currently in remission, but treatment is ongoing. With COVID and being forced to stay home, I've had the benefit of watching Channel 9's transmission tower being dismantled, and I've created a photo book of various stages. A Facebook site dismantling of the Channel 9 tower was set up by a local, and many other locals have posted some great images and videos. Might be worth mentioning this in your next podcast whenever it occurs. Anyway, all the best. Take care. Hope you're better soon. Regards, Peter Sample." I can't remember. Is Peter in Melbourne or is he in Sydney? I don't know which Channel 9 tower he's referring to.
Well, it's the one nearest his house, obviously.
Yes. Well pointed out. Thank you, mate.
It's the one that's visible from his house.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I have a feeling
I haven't even heard about
to
the tower
Sydney,
being
but,
taken down. So
yeah, I have a feeling it's a Sydney thing, but I don't know for certain.
I was going to say, it was certainly your patch.
Yeah. And
you should know better than that. The one listener you've got in New South Wales, you should at least have known.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Paul Sutton sent us a link to our mate Joe Edelman, who wrote a post for Petapixel. And this,
did he?
Yes, this was titled, "Can we please stop talking about what seconds?" Now, I will confess I have not had the motivation to sit down and read this article. So, questions without notice. Why would Joe be against referring to lighting power as what seconds?
I get it if I know.
Okay, cool.
But it's irrelevant at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, you just dial it up or down until you get the look you want.
No, but I mean...
No?
I don't know what his beef is.
Okay.
But the problem is, rather than getting involved in all the tech of stuff, I don't think there's many studio lights out there in the world of a known brand that you would buy for most amateur use or semi-pro use that isn't already too powerful.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And it's very easy to buy stuff that's well above what's necessary.
Right.
So, maybe that's his reason. Forget about it. They're powerful enough. Get on with how to use them.
Yep.
But that's something I've always said to people is who cares what volume they are. I always call them volume.
Yep.
Is what you do, not what you use.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
Yeah. But it's like I saw someone. I did see another post about photography this week. Someone said, I think it might have been a guy called Dave Fulton sent me a message saying he saw on one of his forum groups that someone was asking what was the best camera for taking photos of tattoos.
Oh, the one in your hand.
I didn't know whether he meant the Edinburgh or like the body ones because there's quite a different end use, you know. So therefore, you probably need different cameras.
The camera that's in your hand is the best camera to use.
It's like.
I seriously get frustrated with the number of people who, come on and, the Facebook photography groups and go, oh, what would be the best camera to buy for X type of photography? The A7 IV or the 6500. It's like, really?
That mentality has never really been shook,
Yeah.
It's just weird. I don't know where the disconnect is that people think that's a realistic question, to ask. Where's the disconnect?
Even if you think it's a realistic question to ask, at what point are you going to say, yes, I'm going to base my purchasing decision to part with my hard-earned cash based on the opinion of some random I met on the internet?
A good point.
Who does that? At the end of the day, you're not going to spend the money until you are comfortable.
In that scenario, what other options do you have?
Well, hopefully you would go and find a bricks and mortar store and at least look at the two cameras that you might have narrowed it down to and say to the guy in the store at least, hey, I'm umming and ahhing between these two cameras. Do you have an opinion? Can I take some sample
opinion? I make commission on this one. I don't make commission on that one. This one's far better. Of course, he's definitely got an opinion.
But, that's, to me, a far more likely scenario to me ending up parting with some money than just, this random person I don't even know on the internet told me that I should buy camera A over camera B.
But you could get a sort of a consensus if you have 50 people respond.
Sure.
And 38 people say one and 12 say the other.
Yep.
Yeah, it gives you, at least you polled the audience to see what the mood is. But if you go onto a Nikon group and ask that question, it's going to be very slanted one way over the other,
Yeah.
Interesting.
But surely there's probably 1,000 websites out there that would review cameras that you could go and say, I want to compare camera A with camera B, and probably find, a head-to-head comparison between those two cameras, which is probably a far more
only going to give you stats. And, if you go to D-Preview and do side-by-side, it's just giving you a whole bunch of stats and somebody who can't take photos' opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm genuine. It's actually really hard. It's quite tricky,
Yeah.
As you say, you've got hard-earned to spend.
Yeah.
And it's hard-earned, so you don't want to... So you can see why you'd reach out to... Yeah. I guess it's more the fact that not just, this person said this one, how did they back up their comment?
Their claim, yeah.
Yeah, okay, what was it that person said that resonated with me that made sense that maybe, I can see this guy, the way this guy's talking, his type of logic fits in with my kind of thinking.
Yeah.
Therefore, maybe I'll give it more credence to what this person's saying because I can kind of get his viewpoint better. And therefore, maybe I'd feel the same way.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we all know it kind of doesn't really matter. You just got to, and that's what I say. You got to buy what makes you happy, and you can never not buy the thing that you lust after.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how much someone convinces you otherwise.
Yep.
Yeah, because as soon as you do, every photo you ever take, it would have been better with the other one. Would have been better with the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you ever think for all your life is that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every single, it doesn't matter how good the photo is. Gee, I wonder how much better it could have been with the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing that I was going to include was based on an email that I received a few weeks back, and I'll say it up front. I think they emailed me because they were just fishing for a link to their study. But I thought yeah, there's some value in this. I'll mention it in the podcast. It's from a mob called comparitech.com, and it's an article on their blog about EXIF metadata privacy. And the subtitle is "A Picture is Worth 1,000 Data Points." And it's all about, it's written by a guy called Paul Bischoff, a tech writer, privacy advocate, and VPN expert, about the EXIF metadata that gets included when you export a JPEG or a PNG from, Lightroom, Darktable, whatever you happen to be using. And then you go and post that, exported JPEG, PNG, whatever, to whatever sites you may be posting your images to. How much of that metadata is staying in the image when it gets out there on the web? And he does mention that Imager, Facebook and Instagram, they scrub all the metadata that they can so that there is no metadata left on your upload when you upload to one of those 3 sites. Flickr, on the other hand, keeps all of the metadata, so whatever you've left in there when you exported it will remain in the image when it appears on Flickr. Then there's another mob, photobox.co.uk, tags photos in the metadata comments section to indicate that the uploaded images are compressed. Okay, fair enough. The rest of the metadata is intact. Anyway, there's a whole article here, and I'll put the link in the show notes for anyone that wants to read up on it. But I thought it was worthy of just reminding everyone, don't just assume that because you've, added metadata to an image on your home, computer or laptop or wherever you do your image processing, that stuff doesn't necessarily go with any exported JPEG that you create, because in some instances it does, and sometimes you might not want all of that information included, particularly if it's GPS coordinates, that might be photographs that you took at home, then you've just given away the GPS coordinates for where you live. Stuff like that, it's worth just...
Yeah, taking the photo of your Tiffany collection.
There you go. I just thought I'd give it a mention and say, if that's something you've never thought of and suddenly think, oh, maybe I should be a little bit more wary of that kind of stuff, then you might want to go and have a read of this article. Yeah.
I had a quick flick through Joe's thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not so much about it is about WhatsApp, but not completely about that. It's about lighting in general, any artificial lighting in general, as far as flash, LED, or studio lighting. Right. And the fact that all 3 of them have different terminology. So you have lumens for LED, you have guide numbers for flash, and watt seconds for studio. Yeah. And it's just too confusing.
Yep.
And what's more important is to try and figure out a way of what's the volume of light actually hitting your subject, as opposed to the potential output. I mean, what something outputs versus what it lands is not necessarily the same thing as well. So,
right. Okay.
So it's talking about the thing, and in a lot of ways, it's a bit of a pump up for LED lighting. But I haven't really gone into much detail.
Yep.
But I think he's basically just starting the conversation about getting past the math of lighting and getting into the good stuff, the stuff that's important, the way light hits the subject, the intensity and feel and style of that light, and what you can do with it. So
it'd be interesting to see, do you think that there could be any unanimous decision from the various types of lighting manufacturers to come up with a consistent scale?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. As soon as they solve the unified field theory, which they've been working on since Einstein's day.
Right.
As soon as they solve that, well, everything's then unified, Bruce, so it'll be no problem. Yeah.
Excellent. And don't overload the flux capacitor. Yes.
Exactly. You can see that happening any time now between now and,
when hell freezes over.
The distant future.
Excellent.
Now, so the problem is when hell freezes over, that's the temperature. And the temperature comes under the same sort of scale of numbering systems, so therefore it would be unified as well.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, mate. Well, good to chat.
You too, mate. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we're going to keep these chats just fairly random. No, fortnightly, but
Yeah.
but a little bit more loose because we're going to go. What I'm trying to say is we're going to go off our strict photo only conversations.
Yep.
And maybe, because I think in the past we're focused too much on photo knowledge and information in our podcasts, and I think it's really time now that we can start to relax a bit. 500 episodes in, start to relax a bit and start to kind of branch out from strict photo.
Excellent.
Yeah, sometimes we can talk about sketching.
Whilst you're on that subject, how's your crypto going?
Oh, through the roof, dude.
Totally.
Very nice. Mind you, a mate of mine from used to work at Fuji put on his Facebook page the other day, a Facebook page. How many of you invested in what's that big one again? The Bitcoin. When I told you to at $200.
Yeah, that was Lee DeProse. I saw that.
Yeah, and now it's at 93,000 of them.
Yeah.
So he was telling people when it was $200 to invest.
Yeah.
And imagine if you'd put in $1,000 worth then,
Yep.
Holy guacamole.
You had
But
five
I'm
whole
doing really good.
Bitcoins.
I'm at my highest peak ever of monies.
Yep.
So, good. And yours?
Yeah, same. I'm still holding the Ethereum that I bought 4 years ago. So.
Oh, good. Now, if it gets up high enough, it might be able to pay for your dad's credit card.
There you go.
Sorry, dude.
All right, matey. You have a good one.
Oh, well, bye, everybody.
Talk to you in 2 weeks.
See ya.
See ya.
You've been listening to Shutters Inc. For questions, comments, and feedback, email theboys@shuttersincpodcast.com.